Buenas noches a todos. Welcome back to Tom Plays Europa Universalis 4 for absolute beginners. We're back with Castile. We're playing them slightly more militaristically than usual. Less colonially than usual. We're still working on our first colony, and we've just hit the 16th century, pretty much. So, yeah, 947 settlers. Still, not a big issue, so we're just considering attacking Morocco. I just want to build some guns first, because they will help in our sieges. Finished converting Malaga. Okay, that's brilliant, gives us more religious unity, so we do have the option for Granada. They are more expensive, but we can currently afford them, amazingly. So I'm going to go ahead with that. It'll take 92 months, but it has more of an impact on the religious unity than usual, which is why it's more expensive. We're not able to convert any of the others yet, but it will be good for our country to do that. Okay, our guns have been built. Oh, and it looks like Portugal has pulled out of the fight. So we have, I believe, 4 claims on Morocco, because they took over the 2 lands we'd claimed from Tunis. So yeah, let's try and take them all. We're going to pull Aragon in. Portugal has some feeble excuse for not joining in. They're in debt. I wonder if there's any chance whatsoever that they will get out of debt. Honestly, I think I'd rather go ahead without Portugal. I mean, to be fair, I'm going to have to give them the Conquistador. Once Portugal gets out of debt, we should get a little icon. I think we've had this before. It's a clarion, like a trumpet, bugle, and that will allow us to pull them in. Okay, it looks like Morocco is... Oh no. I thought they were launching the attack there. But apparently not. Okay, this isn't good. Aragon, please be careful. Don't get your armies trashed at the start. Good grief. Bring my army over to try to help Aragon. It's too late to help them, really, but it does look like Morocco's combined armies aren't actually as powerful as one of our armies, so it shouldn't be dangerous for us to split them, and it will certainly help. So hopefully when Aragon come back, whatever insane thing they decide to do, we should be able to just roll with it and stop them. Oh, okay. Let's just stop. Got separatists in Garb. That is perfect, because we happen to have our troops there already. I'm going to bring my explorers fleet over. To bolster my own fleet. Okay, so it looks like Aragon have joined in with this battle to take down our separatists, which is brilliant. Good work, Aragon. Alright, I'm going to start sieging this castle. I'm hoping they're not going to get attacked, but I have to admit, I don't know where they're coming. Okay, right. So this is going to break the siege. Normally you do not want to do this, but on this occasion, because I can see they're padlocked, they're definitely coming here, and I don't want them attacking my vassal. Honestly, I just think it's worth breaking off the siege, however advanced it was, to take down their army. we can severely damage their army. Feel differently about this if we manage to get the reinforcements there in time. Nope, they didn't. Which is ideal for us, so we're fighting them as two separate armies. In each case we vastly outnumber them. In this case they don't have a general. And yeah, basically completely creamed them. Which is perfect. I'll keep an eye on this army this time. No, I can't actually move there. And our colony has become self-sustaining. For some reason they're coming to Fez. Okay, brilliant. Right, so in the middle of a war... Oh, we've lost an advisor as well. Okay, well... We've got a few things which are useful here. Missionary strength will be good because we'd finish our conversion faster. Yearly inflation reduction would be good because we have quite a bit of inflation and it would... Well, yeah, basically revalue our currency a little. And production efficiency would be good in a sense because it helps with trade. I think I might go with a yearly inflation reduction. I am questioning if we can actually afford this advisor, to be fair. Okay, now the question is, can we now reach Brazil? We can reach Brazil. We can't reach very far into Brazil, but we can just about reach Brazil. So I'm actually going to send the colonist there. Oh yeah, we don't have a second colonist yet, do we? So basically I've gone as far west as I can because we want to reach the Caribbean. We've already in a sense lost. I normally like to get this spot here because it's right on the trade node, but what we will do instead is try to probably take Cuba and yeah, just take as much of the areas around this trade node as we can. It's a very important trade node. Bear in mind I'm still hoping at some point we will be able to conquer Portugal, so it's not the end of the world. So I've got a colonist on the way out. I do need to move an army out there to help the colonist. Okay, I don't know where they're actually fleeing to. But given that there only seems to be one ship there at the moment, I think I'm going to actually go and pick up this army and take them on. I'm also going to build a cannon there. So this is actually our land now. This is a perfectly normal piece of land. Because we colonised it normally, we shouldn't have any particular problems with unrest. Well, debatably. But usually not the same problems that you have with a country that you conquered. Oh, this looks good. It looks like they've fled here, and Aragon is probably going to absolutely destroy them. So we're doing well with Morocco. After Aragon's initial defeats, I think we've overwhelmed them. Basically, our taking out the Moroccan armies here, I think, has made all the difference. It's broken their armies, destroyed one of them, the other one fled this way, and Aragon has finished them off. They were very low morale. So I don't think Morocco should have a decent army anymore, at least one that Aragon or we can't easily take down. So I think that war's over basically, so hopefully we should have no problem getting the 4 provinces we had claims on, which is excellent. Might even go for an additional province depending. Okay, how long before the cannon gets finished? It's going to be a while. How many troops can this take? Can take enough to take the cannon, but I think I'm going to ferry them over anyway, because the colonists will be there soon, and the second the colonist arrives it's possible to have an uprising. These natives are a lot less aggressive and ferocious than the ones in the place we just went to, so we should get far less uprisings. nonetheless, it's definitely worth having the army there. The other thing is that I'm surprised we didn't already have... Oh, actually, we can probably just land there now. Now the colony exists, which is a bit faster. Right, now this is interesting. This is supposed to be your first native encounter. I was just going to say, I was surprised we already didn't have it through Africa, because there were certainly natives there. So we've got three options here. Now, this is obviously the nicest option, which in some ways I would love to do, and it does present like it has an advantage in that there's a higher chance of assimilating with natives. There's also this option, which is nicer-ish, and it makes sense for a trading nation, and there's this option, which is probably the most historical one. Debatable. The problem is that when I first played this game, obviously I wanted to be a bit nicer, and I discovered that other nations' colonies were growing way faster than mine. I think basically this is the only option you can take as a colonial nation. You have to go with this, you have to play nasty. The problem is that even if you go with this option, there's still a chance that you will get attacked, so you still need a standing army in every colony. So you might as well go with this option, basically. So it's a bit horrible, but then again, everything you do in this game is pretty horrible, so what can we do? So we're going to go with Repel the Savages, and that will instantly give us a 200 population, and it will reduce the size of the natives. But this will go on for the rest of the game. I think with the DLCs you can change tactics partway through. You cannot with no DLCs. So I highly recommend that you go for Repel the Savages at the beginning, and just make sure you have a standing army wherever you are. I'm less worried now about not having a general on this army, because the natives here are less ferocious and also less likely to rise up. I think it's more the ferocity that's the problem, but I think this army should be plenty, and we're also going to bolster them with a cannon. So yeah, that should help. So I see Morocco has raised another army, but they've only got 5,000, so even with a 2-star general, I can't see Aragon having any problems taking them down. However, seeing as we have an interest in replacing King 1 now, both because I really want a queen, because I think it increases our chance of the Iberian wedding, and also because the heir is so much better than he is, I think I'm going to actually make our king a general, and he can defend the colonies. So that's this option here, give ruler military command. So it gives him a greater chance of dying. So again, rather horrible. But really need to get the Iberian wedding. I believe there is a time limit on it, so I'd rather get it sooner rather than later. And I believe that, I mean, because it's a wedding, and you know, they don't have gay marriage in the 16th century, we really need a ruler. We really need a queen, basically, because their ruler and heir are both male. We've won a siege, which is great. We've already got an uprising, but we've already won, so not an issue. I'm going to just take this province because it's the other one we've claimed. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Don't think it's a problem, because I think all the ones Aragon takes are in our name anyway. The ones our vassals take will always be in our name, I think. So it's not a huge issue. Had to drop the cannon off, which is great. So we'll just combine them. And I'm going to move back here and help with the blockade, but I think this war's pretty much done. It's just a question of getting to 100% war score, basically. Everyone's still happy to take part. I really need to learn Kabilia's name. Apologies if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's not a country I've come across before. But hopefully we will have a good relationship with them for a while now. Unfortunately, they do count as the diplomatic relation, so they are going to cost us some diplomatic points. What I'm hoping is that our royal marriages with Savoy and Bohemia will actually end soon. I was never intending the Bohemian one to be that long lasting anyway, but we've lost our alliance with Savoy. So really it should just be a question of someone dies and the marriage ends, but they seem to be both rather long lived. Okay, so brilliant. I'm going to turn up the speed dramatically. And yeah, I don't think there's much to it now. We've basically won. Aragon is about to finish the job. I'm hoping we'll actually get a 100% war score with this one. Okay, brilliant. We have lost our king, which is even better. Juana is now going to rule. Much better monarch. She is 14 out of a possible 18, and we now have a 100% war score. So here's the question, what can we get? Suggest demands gives us the 4 provinces we were requesting. I'm just going to clear offer and just see if there's anything else we can do. We can't make them a vassal. That would take 251% war score. It's not really an option. I think concede defeat is more about gaining military, well, is it like a humiliate rival thing? Gives you additional monarch points? Not totally sure. Transfer trade power might be useful for money. Force them to end the rivalry with us. Don't really care about that. We can actually force them to release nations, which we might want to consider. We can ask them to give cause to other people. We can ask them to revoke cause. Mostly I think we want them to cede provinces. I would rather gain military power. So the suggested options are for them to give up that core and to give up their claim on Melilla and to cede these provinces. I don't really care about them giving up the claim. So let's just ask them to cede provinces. So I basically cleared the offer. Instead of a suggested demands, I've manually clicked on each province that I want. So those are the 4 that we had claims on. So what other options do we have? We do need to watch the aggressive expansion. So we're going to currently get 21.3 of people thinking we're dangerous. If we get this one as well, that's 28.5, but they will do it. 30.1, so that was not so bad. I don't think any of this is too terrible. I think we could go with that. So we've gone way beyond what we actually had claims on. Technically being extremely greedy there. That's a mothball forts. That's actually going to slow us up in getting another colonist, unfortunately, because we're going to desperately... Oh, actually, maybe not. We desperately need to start coring these new provinces. But I've just squandered a whole bunch of our administrative power on gaining an extra colonist instead. Now what I'm actually wondering is, I think this might be uncolonised land, so arguably we could actually colonise here, which would be interesting. It's not something I've done before as Castile. I'm just going to see, I mean it looks uncolonised to me. And here we go, finally, the Iberian wedding. So yes, absolutely. So Aragon will become a junior partner of us. We will get on really well with them. Savoy is going to be upset, and we're going to have a bunch of noble regiments rise up in revolt in Sevilla. So let's just pause, because that's quite a bit to deal with. We've also gained Naples and Navarra as personal unions. Okay, so we've got a new mission. Claims in Aragon. Basically, we have taken all the Aragonese territory we were claiming, which isn't a huge surprise, because we've just taken over Aragon. In effect, we've also acquired lots of subjects, which is great. Okay, so first things first, let's unmothball this fort, because we're going to need to deal with these noble rebels. Let's start improving relations with Savoy. I don't know why they've gone off us. Our royal marriage with them has also ended. I want to possibly improve relations with Naples. Actually, we seem to be getting on okay with Naples. What about Navarre? Yeah, let's improve relations with them. Improve relations with Navarre. With Naples, improve relations with Aragon. That should help us enormously. I'm going to send this army across to Malaga on the assumption the noble rebels will go there first, just in case they don't. Well, I probably don't need to worry about Toledo just yet. But I think this army should be enough if we've got a castle there. And even if we don't, what else do we have to deal with? Algerian Sarah. Oh right, that's here, isn't it? Or possibly here, so let's unmothball that fort. So our other big problem is lack of money. We have 2 loans. Mercantilism would give us money, but to be honest I think lack of legitimacy is more of an issue right now, so I would rather increase that. So grant indulgence thing gives us yearly legitimacy. Thankfully I think we're still the papal controller. Yep. Now I have to wonder if we could still defeat. Tell you what, I'm going to move here because there's a chance they'll head this way to the capital, Toledo. But there's also a chance they'll go for Malaga. But if they go for Malaga, they'll be held up and we'll have an advantage anyway. If they go this way, we will be ready for them in a defensive position with the rivers on our side. So I think it's a better option. Notice that this army is currently taking damage because they're going through an area that, even though we own it, has a supply limit of 15. So here's the question. Actually, here's the other question. I need to bring my navies home because we're no longer at war. You can move to the new colony. Right, so I'm expecting that to be the last war we fight for quite some time. I think it's left us in a pretty good position. We've got a fair chunk of North Africa here. We have vassals sort of between us and Tunis, so there's not much point going after them. Alright, they've gone for the castle. We'll fool them. Royal marriage offer from Austria. I'm definitely up for that. Brilliant. So yeah, hopefully we will just be focusing on taking down uprisings for a while now. We also need to make calls as quickly as we can to bring things back. The only problem with that is the next idea in the expansion idea group was an additional merchant, which would have helped us with money. So holding that up is a bit unfortunate, but there's not much we can do. We're just going to have to weather it as best we can. Going to try and keep maintaining the colonies at full strength for the time being to help them grow. Okay, brilliant. So I'm actually going to send a colonist here because it's free land. It's not ideal in some ways, but to be fair, it's not like we can put a colonist anywhere further on, because until this colony is finished, we still can't reach the Caribbean. Of course, South America is really where we want to have most of our holdings, but I just kind of can't resist taking a bit of extra land here because it's kind of part of our main nation. So yeah, we're going to have to make good use of our ships, and we're going to, basically going to be dealing with uprisings, money problems, and gradually colonising, I think. I'm just sending this conquistador to explore this area so we can find out who this yellow country is. They might be Mali. I think Mali's more sort of white. But whoever they are, it might be worth making an alliance with them. Well, maybe not making an alliance, but improving relations with them. Right, so our next uprising is probably going to be around here. Algerian separatists. There are now 3 places they could rise up, and the place of the castle is the least likely. I'll go with investing in the naval force again. I don't... Even though I'm not going to be using technology costs for a while. Sorry, I just don't like choosing abandon the idea of naval supremacy. I'm a bit worried about what effect that might have. Might actually move here because this is within range of all 3 provinces where we may get an uprising. Okay, need to keep checking the make cause every month. Okay, so while that's a little bit of a problem, it's not the end of the world. In fact, I'm going to carry on as planned, because I don't know if they're going to move there or there. Taking this area shouldn't be too big a problem because of the forts. Taking this area would be. So if anything, I want this army here. So if I can get there fast enough. Should probably... oh, never mind. I was going to say I should probably split this army up, but it's not really an option. But we're going to need someone to protect this colony. Okay, brilliant. So we're in the right position at least. It's just a question of when these guys start to move. What's this? Shipbuilding problems? Okay, well, given that ships are going to cost more anyway, I'm not very keen to build any in any case. So I'm just going to accept that we're not going to have any more ships for a while. Kind of got enough to deal with anyway. Right now. Just waiting for these separatists to move. There we go, they're heading for the castle. I don't think they'll change their minds even once we move there, so we can probably just move there quite happily. But that's good news, it means we should win more easily. I need to split this army up because neither of these provinces can hold the entire army, which is fine. So, who is this nation? Timbuktu. Okay, interesting. I mean, they might of course be an option for attacking. The further we get away from the centres of places like the Renaissance and colonialism, the more behind in technology people will be, including military technology. So there may be people we can attack quite safely. At the same time, it will slow us up on researching expansion ideas because any provinces we take we will have to core, which is of course the issue we're currently having. So maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should turn over a new leaf and become peaceful. Really gained far more land than I'm used to as Castile. So it's interesting actually. I have a feeling we have an option in our decisions and policies, which we haven't looked at much. We've mostly just gone here when an alert pops up for a decision. Form Spanish nation diplomatically. The main thing stopping us right now is that we don't have a legitimacy of 100 and we don't have an administrative technology of 10. Now I'm not too worried about the legitimacy because the administrative technology of 10 is quite a way in the future, given that we're going to be spending all our admin points on expansion ideas, which we desperately need to get to the top of as soon as possible to become good competitors in the colonial world. So we're not going to be able to form Spain for quite some time. Unfortunately, that does mean we have a lot of diplomatic relations. Basically, with just our vassals and the junior partner, we have a minimum of 4, which is a maximum we're pretty much allowed. Our alliance with Portugal and our alliance with Austria effectively are costing us 2 diplomatic points each, and there's nothing we can do about it. On the plus side, as we improve these ideas, we're also gaining national ideas. So we've got this one, which will have helped with our army tradition, which gives us better generals, I think. And we're hopefully going to get this one, which will increase our military strength fairly shortly. So, yeah, it's good that we're getting these. One of the really telling ones is this one. It gives us an extra colonist, which is an extra colonist which no other, well, few other nations ever get. So we'll end up having 4. The problem we're going to have is funding them. So right now we are losing a colossal amount of money. We're going to end up with a number of loans, so as soon as we finish coring these provinces we really need to sort out the money issues. In fact, in some ways I'm half inclined in fact, yeah, let's actually do it. I'm going to give these guys, oh not that one, sorry, the actual general, and I'm going to reduce the amount of funding our army gets. So these sliders, these can allow you to change funding, and one of our biggest funding sinks is the army. So I'm not going to drop it down much, I want to keep it above half. Still got lots of corruption. And I'm hoping we'll be able to bring things more under control soon, but it's just to sort of control the amount that we're losing while we're coring provinces. So it's going to reduce the morale of our army, but I think we should still be enough with the generals to put down any uprisings we get in our 2 colonies. Obviously the second we get a warning about an upcoming uprising here, we will have to increase it again. But it should at least give us a little bit of leeway. Well, stop us getting too many loans, as we already have 3, which is not good. And we really need to start building workshops, which would in theory make us more money, but at the moment it's probably not the best time. I'm just grateful with Payable Controller, which should at least help a little bit with this sort of thing. Oh, brilliant. We have an excellent minister. Right, we definitely, again, need the administrative benefits. Although our prestige is quite high. So, would that be a waste? Would we be better off reaping the military benefits? The thing is, the admin benefits will be so much more useful to us right now. But then the military benefits will be stuff that we hadn't used at all. I think on the whole the stability and the admin power on its own is probably enough to swing it. Military power probably isn't that useful at the moment. Yeah, going to go admin. And immediately make Fez into a core with the extra power we've got. Well, not immediately, because it's going to take us some time. May have been a mistake, but as long as I don't start losing wars, hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, we have a warning. So as soon as I get to 90, we're going to have to bring up our... In fact, probably very soon we're going to have to bring up our army support. Right, that's at 90 now, so we're going to change this back and bring army maintenance back up to top. Right, there's only one place this can happen, which is there. So let me move our army over to Fez. Actually, Melilla will be fine. That'd be better. Supply limits lower in Fez. And yeah, hopefully we'll be ready for them. By the time that they rise up, you see the morale's gradually recovering. Now we've increased the army. Portugal's embraced colonialism. That's actually good news for us, because it should spread it into Castile faster. There we go. So we're all set for the uprising now. Let's mothball all forts, because I don't think we currently need them, and I see Malaga is still up. Need to keep an eye on any other uprisings. Tlemcen. Okay, so we may need that fort up soon. Aragonese noble rebels will appear in Aragon. They may need our help. We'll see. And Moroccan separatists, but they've got quite a way to go. Okay, we can actually make another corps now. Some of the corps are getting closer to actually finishing, which is good news. Provence is spying on us. Had an uprising. That's fine. Actually is fine. It's only questioning whether there's any point having a castle in Tangier, because Fez kind of does the job for us. I think between Fez and Malaga there's probably no need. So let's get rid of that, because it will give us a bit of additional money. That's fine. I don't really care about the diplomatic insult from Liège. Okay, we've lost a general. This one. Let's ask for another general then. The unfortunately is not as good. I'm going to give them the Conquistador instead. Okay, so alright, they're quite fierce here. So even though this army's bigger, I'll give them the general. So I'm just going to hope that this army can cope without a general or Conquistador of any kind. Oh brilliant, we've got an heir, Alfonso. Not a bad one either. Not as good as Juana, but still not bad. Okay, Tlemcen. Okay, that's really bad news. I'm going to get over there as quickly as I can, but it may not be in time to stop them from taking the castle, in which case we're going to have to siege the castle to get it. Which is terrible. I should have kept a closer eye on them. Of course, why have one uprising when you can have two? Apparently it's free monarch point day. Lost the siege of Tlemcen. Now I probably can't back out. Nope, can't back out, so I'm going to have to fight them while they have an advantage. Let's at least unmothball Fez. we should still win. I'm gonna move this army over to siege it. So yeah, that was quite unlucky. On the plus side, there's at least a reasonable chance that these separatists will go for Fez. They're certainly going to occupy that land, so I'm not even going to try to stop them. Going to make a core here. And it's free monarch point day, so let's just do that. So we're going to grant monopoly charters, demand diplomatic support, seek support for clergy, demand administrative support. We'll also establish New World missions and send an emissary to the Pope. And we're going to call a diet and demand military support, which is fine. Okay, we have a new idea, which is viceroys. We could instead get a technology, but I think I'm going to go for viceroys instead. I think we've got a military tech though, which is good. Byzantium has fallen to the Ottomans, so we're going to say by all means let them come. Helps with technology and also gives us some extra prestige. We have gained the Spanish Inquisition because of the idea we just went for, so our missionaries have become more powerful. Viceroys gives us better global tariffs and an envoy travel time boost. And we have extra military technology. We do have the option to change units. They're not coming for us right now, so I'm going to quickly go for Condotta. Yeah, so I'm going to assume that our morale will recover before they come for us. Apparently our corruption has gone up. Expecting it to go down soon. Okay, that should do it for now. We still have a missionary working, so I'm not going to send another one right now. Because honestly, I don't think we can afford them. Probably can't even afford the missionary we have. May as well speed this up enormously, I guess. And finally, we've started coring provinces, so hopefully there will be a whole bunch of these. Improvements in production technology. Even though we're low on money, we really also need administrative power. In fact, that should allow us... Oh no, we can't make a core because they're currently occupied. I've also just realised these guys are never going to come to Fez because they're not Moroccan. So I'm going to go and actually attack them. Let's get this sorted. Getting another core province. Going to stay here even though the castle should in theory recover it for us. Okay, brilliant. So we can mothball this fort now. This siege is actually going okay, so I don't need to help. What I'm thinking is our next uprising... I know apparently our next uprising is Moroccan separatists. And will probably happen in Fez, but could happen here. Or here. That's interesting. Okay, fall of Granada. Well, that happened a while. So we can either force people to either go or be converted, which the Pope will like. Or we can let them stay and gain prestige. Honestly, I would rather let them stay. So I'm going to do that. I can use the prestige. Right. So let's move over to Fez. Supply limits fine for now. I don't know how many Moroccan separatists there's going to be, but all our armies are down there, so that's good. A bit worried about the Aragonese, but there's always a chance that Aragon can handle them themselves. So I think I'm going to hope for that for now. Okay, so we still have a long way to go in recovering from the last war and getting colonisation properly underway. Technically, shot myself in the foot slightly by colonising this province, but it just would seem too good to pass up. And it may open the road into invading Africa, you never know. So, what next? Right, well, I'm going to stop it there for now, and we will come back and possibly do some more exploring now that our base is further west, so we can have a look around the Caribbean, take in the sights, and yeah, in the meantime try to deal with uprisings and try to get our money positive again, which may take some doing, but it does need doing because we are gradually increasing the number of loans, and if we don't watch it, these can get out of hand. You do need to watch loans. It is possible to recover from, I think I've recovered from having like 50 sometimes, but it can be quite miserable because it stops you doing anything. So yeah, let's try and nip it in the bud. Okay, but anyway, leave that for next time, and I'll see you then.